Welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we explore the defining moments that shape extraordinary people into who they have become. Today, guest is Sheree Brown, award-winning singer, songwriter behind the message from the soul, the power of music. In elementary school, Sheree was bullied for not wearing designer shoes, a painful earlier experience that it's not what we wear that make us who we are. That truth, learned so young, will eventually shape the career devoted to seeing past surface different entirely, culminating in songs like I Am You and You Are Me, a bilingual acclaimed, calling the radical empathy and sheer humanity. It's really a pleasure and honor having you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mom. So, Sherry, before this bullying, who were you as a young girl in elementary school? And what did those earlier years actually feel like before that experience shaped you?
I One really good thing that I had is I had very supportive parents. My mom and dad were very supportive of me, and but they were very positive people,
Yeah,
especially my mom. And she used to say, you're beautiful. You're a child of God. You're wonderful. And don't pay attention to what they're saying unless, of course, and I tell kids this now, and when I'm talking, if they're trying to be harmful, of course, you go tell an adult. But she used to say, you're beautiful inside. So they can say all that they want to say to you. You just hold on to that. And then she'd say, they're beautiful too. They just don't know it yet. Because people who bully are hurting people. They're hurting inside.
yeah,
So I always received encouragement. So when these kind of things happened, we're all human, and especially with kids,
yeah,
sometimes kids can be very cruel to each other just by saying crazy things, right? And even though it hurt my feelings, I still held on to what my mom would tell me, and even would tell me then, because I would be crying, or I'd come
yeah,
home and tell her. She says, "You're wonderful. That's their problem. It's not your problem." And so I've held
yeah,
on to that even now, because people still bullying as we get older and become adults.
yeah,
We just don't call it bullying anymore, right?
yeah. It's really lovely having that kind of particular sense of reframing. Is the fact that you're beautiful. You don't have to mind
Thank
it.
you.
And having to say that hurt people want to hurt people. They are hurt inside, and their only way of surviving is having to hurt other people and having to kind of have that in mind, even if you don't understand to what depth that means. It really helped you greatly. That was really amazing.
Thank you.
And also, can you take us back to the specific moments you realized you were being bullied for not wearing designer shoes? What did that feel like as a child?
It was hurtful. It hurt my feelings. It was painful. I didn't like it, you know. But there was nothing that I could do because
Yeah,
I was the oldest of 8 children, and with my mom and my dad, 10 of us lived in the home, our household. And my dad was the only one who worked because my mom stayed home to take care of the kids, take care of all of the children, all of us. And so they couldn't afford to buy a lot of the name brand shoes, tennis
yeah,
shoes. But it was not a big deal for us, even though it was the fact that they were making fun of me that hurt, not the fact that I didn't have those kind of shoes,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
you know, I was grateful. My parents, they provided for us the best way that they could, and we never needed anything. My mother sewed our clothes. She did a lot of seamstress work while she was staying home taking care of us. So we always were looking good as far as our clothing.
yeah,
But then when you get to the shoes, there's all of these different name brand shoes. So
yeah.
the fact that they were bullying me and making fun of me, that's what hurt. And
Yeah.
and then that just made me become a champion, to take up for people who were bullied, other people.
Mm,
And even
yes.
now, even like the song "I Am You, You Are Me." It's "I am you, you are me." To eres yo, in parentheses. That's Spanish. In Spanish to say "you are me." And as we get older, some of those hurtful things, as I was sharing a minute ago, they can continue on different levels. And so
Yeah.
in the world, there's so many negative and hurtful things going on. And even in here at home in the States where I live and where I'm from, and in my community, in all the different people, it's really it's gotten to become very radical in the way that people treat each other so unkindly, so unkind. And so that brings me back. And that's interesting that you would bring this up, because this brings this back, this time in my life. And that is one of the reasons why I want to fight even more for what is right in the way that we should treat people, because of that experience, one of those experiences when I was really young, and being able to live through that, come out of it, and come out of it thinking and feeling positive about myself. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and so when I see these things, it's like having music, to be able to create music and record music and get it out there for people to hear. That's a blessing for me. That's a tool that an artist can use to get positive messages out to the other people, to the world, to the communities, and uplifting messages and inspiring messages. And so as I become older, or as I say, more seasoned, it's more of not a challenge, but it's become even more important for me to want to do this.
Ah, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I think this is really lovely into the part that you went through that, you went through the pain, and now it has spoiled you with a mission to say, oh, people have to treat people right.
Yes,
It's really amazing. Yeah.
yes.
So how did you begin to internalize the truth that what we wear does not define who we are? And how did that lesson, and how long does it take for that lesson to fully sink in?
I think it's an ongoing lesson. I think it gets better, but those kind of things still exist, and we're still human. So for me, it's an ongoing, I have to remind myself. I have to think back. I have to look at the things that I have been able to accomplish when people told me I
Mm,
couldn't do it. I remember when I was in high school, there were some folks that were not at high school, they were adults, and they would tell me, you can't get in this music industry. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to make it? And I would keep saying, I am going to do it. You just wait, you
yeah,
know. And then, having my faith and being
yeah,
persistent and working at it, voila, here I am. Years later,
yeah.
still doing it, right?
Yeah, this is really amazing. Owing to the fact that when some persons grow up, owing to their limitation, they want to project it on everyone they see around them. That yeah, you can't do that owing to they have tried and they couldn't. And all they could do is to project that same failure. So it takes a whole level of conviction for you to be able to say, just watch me do it. And having parents who actually speak volumes or positive remark could just speak volumes towards building that conviction. So music often becomes a refuge for children facing exclusion. Did your relationship with music start to deepen during this period, even unconsciously?
It did start to exist at that time, way back, and it was conscious. I was aware of it. I taught myself how to play the guitar when I was 10, so I must
Oh,
have been in the fifth grade, I think. And I wrote my first song when I was in the sixth grade, so that would make me 11. But of course, that song I wrote way back then at 11 is definitely different than the songs, I write now. But it was still something I created and that I wrote on my guitar, using my guitar to come up with the chords and the melody. So I was always gifted that way, always enjoyed doing it. And the thing is, if I knew that somebody really liked my music, I would want to share it more. So it wasn't a thing of me trying to brag about it. Oh, here, this is what I can do, right? It was about, you like it? You really like it? Well, let me give you more. Let me share more, because that's a gift that I'm able to give you. And if you like it and it's making you happy, I want to give that to you even more. And so that
yeah,
happened at a young age, and it just grew as I started to write more songs, started to get more approval as far as people liking what I was doing. I just wanted to do it more and more.
yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I don't want to just be doing this sitting here in my bedroom or in the bathroom or what. I used to write my songs and play my guitar in the bathroom because the acoustics, it was a big mirror in our bathroom at home.
Yeah.
10 of us, there wasn't a spot you could just get away. And so I would just go in there because the acoustics were good. And I would pretend like I'd be in
Ooh,
front of the mirror, and I would pretend like my audience was the mirror. And I'd be up all night writing these songs, right? Then I'd go to school the next day and play the songs for the students. I went to an all girls high school. So I would go and I say, I have a new song. You want to hear it? You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They wanted to hear it and they liked it, which was even better, right? So
Yeah. That's
it's,
really amazing. Knowing to the fact that music serves more as more like a healing during this
yes,
period.
yes. That is the point. Oh my goodness. Because music, I believe and have experienced it to be healing. And we need more of that more than ever. And music and dancing, it is scientifically proven. There's data out there that says music and dancing brings joy and it brings
Yeah.
people together. We need that more than ever all around the world. More than ever.
Yeah. Amazing. So looking back, do you think that the early experience of being judged unfairly shaped your later commitment to the theme of unity and sheer humanity in your songwriting?
Yes, definitely. That's a good question. I definitely think that. I think that we are all, especially coming up from a child up, we're all a part of a learned experience. So what our experiences, the experiences that surround us growing up influences us. The people that we're around growing up influenced us. And I was around very positive people, starting with my parents. And then, of course, my brothers and sisters, my siblings, they had to, of course, be positive because my mom and dad were positive.
Yeah.
Except for the little things that siblings do with teasing each other, but that was minor for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So decade later, as an artist who collaborated with icon like Patrice Roshan and build a career on soulful spiritual resonance music. Did you still carry that childhood lessons with you in the studio?
The childhood lesson, yes, because those lessons helped to shape me. And Patrice and I met each other when we were teenagers.
Oh,
I think I was 19 and she was 20, or I was 18 and she was 19. I think
wow.
that was at 18 and 19. In fact, this new album of mine, Messages from the Soul, The Power of Music, there's a song on there called Rays of Sunshine. And Patrice and I started writing it when we were 18 and 19 years old. And when I was working on this new album, because it took about 2 years to complete it totally, because I took my time, but I found an old cassette
Mm,
when I was at Patrice's house when she still was at home and she was playing the bass because Patrice, even though the keyboard is basically her main instrument, she plays everything. She plays everything. So she was playing the bass and I was playing the guitar, my acoustic guitar, and we're singing this song. And then at the very end of the recording you hear me say, I think that was it. And then you hear Patrice say, that was it. And then we start laughing. Right. And right. And so when I was working on this album, I said, Patrice, I found this old cassette of you and me singing this song. And I sang it and she remembered it. And then I let her hear it. I said, why don't we finish
yeah.
writing this song and go in the studio and record it for this album. And we did. She's playing keyboards and background and my guitar, and she's doing a couple of little lead parts. And then I did a remix version of it, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorite songs in the album. So it's amazing things that started years and years ago for things to develop years and years later. And
Yeah.
so
Cool.
on the reprise, since I'm telling you this, we were able to capture the recording. We were able to get our voices from the cassette over 50
Cool.
years ago. So at the end of the song, the reprise, the remix version of Rays of Sunshine is what it's called. You hear our voices. I think that was it. That was it. You hear it. It's so much fun, right?
This is really amazing. Having to revisit that childhood memory owing to shared experience.
Yes.
It's really. So looking back at your younger self, the young girl who was bullied over over her shoes, what do you want her to know about the artist and the advocate she eventually becomes?
Whoa, that is really a good question. Whoa, that's deep. To hold on to your dreams.
Mm,
hmm
hold on.
Hold on to the dreams. Continue to work towards that dream and continue to believe in yourself. That's a saying that is so commonly said and shared, and people take that for granted. But for me, it's true. I,
Hold,
I,
hold on to your dream.
yes, hold on to your dream. Even if people are making fun of your shoes, hold on to your
Yeah.
dream. Ha ha, you just wait. Wait till I get older and do this. And yes, now I can say, mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is really amazing. Hold on to your dream and keep putting in the work. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
You're
And
welcome.
also your bilingual duet, I am you and you are me, was designed to provoke thinking about how we perceive our neighbors. What did you want most listener to take away from this song?
The words are very meaningful to me, and I feel that the words apply to everyone, no matter who you are, what your religion is, what your belief is, what your financial situation is, culture, color. There's one thing that is a fact, no matter what any circumstance is, and that is that all of us are human beings. And I want people to treat me a certain way with kindness.
Yeah.
And I feel that a person should treat others the way they want to be treated. And when I was writing the song, and it's the bilingual version is I am you and you are me, to add is yo in parentheses. The
Yeah.
original is on the album and it's all in English. The bilingual one is a single that's separate from the album because we came up with the idea to make it bilingual after the album was finished. Because it's
Mm.
like, what can we do to get this message across? So as a mother, I'm a mom, and my mom passed away a couple of years ago. But my mom, I started thinking about all of these things, different things that I hear in the news. Some of them I've seen in person that are negative and that are happening. What would I feel like if it was my child being treated like that?
Yeah.
What would I feel if it was my mother being treated like that? And so I decided if I was to take that view and look at it from that aspect and share that message, hopefully other people would start thinking, what if it was my child? What if it was my
Yeah.
mom? Right? And so that is where all of that's where that song came from. And it's needed to me more than ever. And we did a music video for that song. That's incredible. I think it's incredible. But it helps to spread the message through visuals. So you can find that on my YouTube channel, which is Real Sheree Brown. That's
Yeah.
RealSheree Brown. And look at it and see. That's the latest video. And so right now, this theme and the message for this song is my mission.
Mm.
And I want as many people to share that message and as many artists out there who can get music and messages out there to share it and to create things like that themselves.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. This is really lovely. But yeah, living peacefully with, yeah, our neighbor. Yeah. I am you and you are me. This is really amazing. I thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
And also your message project blended musical storytelling and virtual arts into a full media experience. Why do you feel a standard album wasn't enough to convey that spiritual message?
Because I wanted to reach out using as many art forms as I could. Storytelling can be healing, just like music. So there's a book coming out that my husband, Douglas Johnson Sr., has authored called Messages from the Soul. And this new
Oh.
album, and it's true stories of men overcoming life challenges. And they
Mm.
share their experience in hopes that they can help to heal other people that are going through something similar. So it's the third of a series of books. It's the Messages trilogy. And the first two I authored. The first one is called Messages from the Heart, and that's stories of women overcoming life challenges. The second one is Messages from the Spirit, which are stories of young adult women overcoming life's challenges. And then, of course, this last one is Messages from the Soul. So each book, I wrote a song and produced it and recorded it and dedicated it to each person that told their story.
Mm.
And so this album came out ahead of the book, and that's how all did. And so what happens, each book, we dedicate a song and a piece of art to each woman telling their story in each chapter. And that's the format of each book. So it's multimedia. So maybe a person is not as inclined to be inspired or listen to music. Maybe that's not their thing. But maybe they love reading and reading true stories. And these stories are healing. So then that's another avenue. Or maybe it's visual arts. And so these pieces of art are really nice, I think. And maybe that will be inspirational. Maybe that will lead a person to read the story. Maybe that will lead a person to listen to the music. But all of them are connected and all of them are designed to promote healing.
Yeah, all of them are designed to promote healing. And yeah, this is amazing.
And joy, bring joy. We need joy. We
Yeah.
need it. That's how you break a person's spirit. You take their joy away. That's proven.
Hmm.
So that's going to happen. So I have to talk to myself all the time and say, shake it off, Sheree. Shake it off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now pick it back up. Get that joy. Pick that joy back up. Don't let them win by taking your joy.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let them win by taking up your joy. This is amazing. And also, your recent recording has become a genuinely family affair, featuring your husband and children. What is the creative dynamics when you turn the studio into a family collaboration?
It's fun. You know, being a mom, being a wife. My husband and I celebrated and well, this November we'll be celebrating our 46th wedding anniversary.
Ooh, ooh, yeah.
And so when we have two young adult, a young adult daughter and a son, and then they each have a daughter. So we have 4 grandchildren. And so my son and I co-wrote a song. It's called "Free to Move," and there's a great music video out for it because I'm dancing. I love to dance and do all. So so and so we co-wrote this song called "Free to Move," and then my daughter and I co-wrote a song called Chapter 4. And then, of course, Rays of Sunshine is Patrice Rushen and I did it. So we wrote it. And so it's a collaboration of young folks and my peers, people my age. This album is, joining the youthful spirit. I feel I have a youthful spirit. I'm definitely older in age, but I feel I have a youthful spirit, and there's joy that comes with that youthful spirit.
Yeah, and this is really amazing. Having to kind of, extend those arms of love and joy from the family, from that, from it's really lovely. And yeah, this is really lovely. Because definitely they are going to look back and say, oh, especially the grandchildren say, oh, let's go replay the song Mommy and Dad sing together. Mommy and my son sing together. It's really lovely. It's really a lovely archive. Have it taken.
Yes, because when they were young kids, they would sing with me. And I have a children's album. I brought them in to sing, and there might have been different things where I needed children. And so I would bring them in, and they're very talented. And I have very talented nieces and nephews. So I would just bring the whole tribe in. And then my husband it's a joy to be able to work on this project together. So it's all of us involved. I didn't think about it that way. But
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So your music is designed to be lived with and passed down in contrast to today disposable world pop culture. What advice do you have for independent artists trying to build something lasting?
To get their music out in as many positive ways as they can for people to hear. Because if we can create music all that we want, but if nobody hears it, it defeats the purpose, in my strong opinion. And so it's one good thing that the generation now has that was not available when I was coming up is social media.
Yeah.
And so you're able to share those talents through social media. But one thing on some professional advice I would give to the young creators. Whenever you're writing something or you've written something, you're singing it, make sure you copyright it first before you start making it public.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy for someone to take those ideas, and some people will take the songs, they'll straight out take it, especially young folks who don't know any better. So then all of a sudden you hear your song or something that sounds like your song or part of your song and someone else is recording, and it's like, hey, I did that. That's from me. But if it's not copywritten, you have no legal protection. So I tell especially the young creatives that are coming up, make sure that you copyright your music. It's very easy to do, to go online and go to the Library of Congress, and they'll tell you how to do it. You can actually do it online. There's a small fee. And when I was coming up, we used to do something called the poor man's copyright. And what we would do is take the song, the recording or whatever it is, put it in an envelope, seal it tight. Make sure you write on the outside of the envelope what's in that envelope. And then you take it to the post office. You get it registered and you get it certified, and you do not open it. So once you've opened it, you've broken that seal. So I don't know how well that works these days, but it's better than nothing. And if somebody can't afford to pay that fee to at least do that, that is some strong advice, because there are a lot of young folks that are so talented, that are coming up with so many creative ideas and lyrics and melodies and songs. They need to make sure that they do whatever they need to do to protect what they've created.
Amazing to protect what they created. Yeah, this is really amazing. So, lastly, what will be your final words to those who have been bullying into depression, to the fact that they didn't believe in themselves anymore, and they are not seeing any reasons why they should pursue that particular creativities or artistic in respect to a particular field? What will be your final words to them?
To talk to someone, first off, because depression is real and there's so many different things that can trigger depression, and to talk to someone so that you can find a path on how to get yourself out of that depression. Listen to music, do things that are positive, that make you feel good about yourself. And when I was coming up, if I was depressed or upset about something, I'd pick up my guitar and start writing.
Oh,
In fact, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. On my first Capitol album, there's a song called Passing Thing, and I still perform it today because the lyrics are still they're as current as they were when I wrote it. Cloudy skies and the day looks gray, but it's just a passing thing. Tears like a river running down my face, but it's just a passing thing. But everything's gonna be all right as long as I keep sight that it's just a passing thing. So I'm gonna dance and sing. And there's other verses to it. But I remember when I was a young adult, I was dating someone, and I can say this. We broke up. The guy and I broke up, and I was heartbroken. I really was heartbroken, and I was very, very depressed. I took my guitar out, and that song was me talking to myself. And it's one of my most popular songs today, over 50 years later, right? Passing thing. You can stream it. All my music is available. You can stream it online. Expansion Records released the last 3 albums. They're independent. Message from the Heart, Message from the Spirit, and Message from the Soul, independent. Then, of course, my 2 Capitol albums that came out in the early 80s. So I'm just thankful to still be able to do what I love to do and to still be able to do it well. I think
yeah,
it still sounds good, but yeah.
yeah. This is really amazing, and it just speak volumes to the fact that sometimes the setback it's an opportunity in workloads, and you may not get to discover it until
That's right.
years later. Because who could have imagined that your best album come from the fact that you just broke up,
Yeah.
and it's out of the healing, you just wrote that particular script and
Right.
you just humming into yourself so like get healing. And at the end of the day, looking back at it,
That's right.
it's the most popular song. How did that come into be?
That's right. And it was so much. I was speaking my heart and my soul, what I was feeling. I was speaking through the pain I was feeling at that time and the depression. So I really think it's important to do all those things. And especially sometimes we are too hesitant, men and women, because men also too afraid or too prideful or to share or to talk to someone. Because sometimes it just is about talking to someone, sharing what you're feeling to help process it. Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone. Talk to someone. I think for you, it was you talking to your guitar.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So from all this, we'd love to connect with you, follow you on various platforms, maybe after streaming the song, or for those who want to stream the song again. How can they reach out and where is the best platform?
Well, you
And
can
for those
go.
who want to get your
Okay, you can go to my website, which will tell you basically everything. It's ShereeBrownMusic.com. SHE1REE Brown BROWN Music MUSIC.com. And you can see all of the things that I've done. You can find out how to order any of the products, the books that we're doing. You can find out the links where to go, how to stream the music. You can see my YouTube channel so that you can look at some of the videos that I've done. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Thank you so much, Sherry. This has really
thank
been an
you,
amazing moment. And
thank you,
thank you for sharing your heart with us on the Making
thank
of
you,
Me podcast. And definitely from our audience who would love to reach out and connect with her and to others, the various products, and to actually view the catalog to check the show notes. You see the link to that on her website. Yeah, thank you for showing us that a
thank you,
painful childhood lessons can become the shoes and judgment that, yeah, about shoes and judgment could become the seed for a lifetime devoted to celebrating our sheer humanity. From a young girl bully for what she wore to an artist inviting the world to see themselves in one another. We are proud that our alias wound, met with grace, can become the clearest calling. It has really been a pleasure and honor having you on the show.
thank you for inviting me, and to your audience, peace.